A lot of men are afraid to bulk because they've been fear mongered in a sense to, oh, if you bulk you're gonna get fat, you're gonna lose your jawline and all. Well, I get that. I had some of those thoughts too, like what if I bulk and I lose my facial attractiveness and all of these things. I don't want to get fat and have a belly and all of that. But here's the thing, if you're watching this and you're like me, you're naturally skinny, inborn, you're, you're just a stick in a sense since birth, you probably won't need to worry about that. Although we need to be careful and vigilant to not overbulk. It's hard for us to, you know, eat more. You're watching my videos or other videos as well about fitness on how to bulk. So probably you're vigilant and methodical enough in your plan to bulk. One thing too is my philosophy on bulking in general. I use this term on some of the skinny dudes that are starting out the gym as well. When they are asking me some advice on how to gain weight, how to build muscle and all, I tell this simple advice on diet. 80 to or 70%, 80 to 70% whole foods, which means home cooked rice, clean carbs, potatoes, protein, whole meats, basically Asian dishes. So, chicken, caldereta, adobo, and 20% some of it processed in a sense, like peanut, that's a bit processed. Biscuits, although you need to be careful with that processed things because they might interfere with your digestion. I found that some foods, especially the hugely processed ones, although you can get a lot of calories in, your stomach might just react very differently, not in a good way. So you need to be careful with that. So unless you're like you eat whatever you see inside, like ice cream, get that. Oh, it's with micros, right? Eat big to get big. Don't fall for that meme of that. Just because you're bulking, you don't need to be, you know, what is the word? Childlike in a sense. Because there's some guys that yes discover bulking, they get stronger and stronger for, like, for example, natural hypertrophy. But you must not get so caught up in the weight or how you get strong. You need to be in a sense emotionally detached to those numbers. And also tip, you must also look not only in the weight but how you look in the mirror as frequent as possible, so you can gauge how much fat you're gaining. So if you're gaining a bit too much, you think you're gaining a bit too much, well, the muscle to fat ratio is a bit off to the side, then you might need to, dial it back a little. Or if you think man, I'm getting a bit, I don't think I'm getting enough weight gain, or I'm still lean, then up the weight, up the calories. Another thing too, to mitigate this or to remove this fear of overbulking or getting too much fat on your body that you get so ugly, is calisthenics. Calisthenics will always humble you. Calisthenics will keep you in check in a sense. If you're, for example, gaining 10-20 pounds on your bench press, but your push-up strength is decreasing, that's probably you're getting a bit too fat. So do some calisthenics. Much better is weighted calisthenics. If you can bulk and up your body weight and can add weighted on those movements, like for example dips, pull-ups, you know, you can get really strong. And who doesn't want to get strong, right? So there's that. Do calisthenics. And what else? A lot of it are mental too. When we go to social media, especially Instagram, we see this static physiques like Breed Divinity Angle, like, or David Lade edits. You subconsciously want that. Of course, you want that. You want to get lean and big, or like Clark Kent in a sense, to have decent muscle mass. But bear in mind, you won't get to that level if you're afraid to eat more. If you're like, for example, 55 kilos and you're worried about gaining or not gaining too much weight, and you have the belief that you can maintain your way to that physique, no, you have to sacrifice. Although we will do it methodically, we won't be, we won't go to the extreme level where we get so fat we have literally gyno from having so much fat. We won't do that. Especially if you're watching me and you're about to buy my program, in the description below that I'm about to create. It's I've been bulking for like 2 years in a sense. I started at 15 years old and leading to now at 18. 2 years, but 3 years of training, because I did not get as consistent. So I have all the learning lessons regarding bulking. I know all the struggles or knowledge as a skinny guy in my experience. So if you're like me and you like my advice on bulking in general, click the link in the description once I set it up. So what else? Yes, the looks maxing community. There's memes of, oh, you cannot build a great body and a good face at the same time, or you cannot be facially attractive and have a good physique at the same time. Although yes, you might lose some of your leanness, but if you train your neck, and yes, that's also one thing I've discovered. If you're gonna bulk, you need to train your neck. Just like abs, when you're training your neck and you're bulking, the muscles here are gonna poke in a sense towards the fat, so you won't look as fat when you're bulking. Same with abs. A lot of people skip abs because, oh, I'm just gonna get abs when I cut. No, you must build your abs to grow it. So even when you're like 15-16% body fat, you can still see your abs. So isolate those small muscle groups. And just do not worry. These things compound, So look often in the mirror. Not only, don't be so emotionally attached to the weight, especially on your lips. I get it, you want to bench press 3 plates. Me too, but I have gorilla arms and I'm like 130, 40 pounds. We will get to that someday. So we don't need to rush. We need to be patient. We're here for the long game. So yeah, if you have some fear of getting ugly when you bulk, don't be. If you're watching this video and you're like researching fitness stuff, yes, be vigilant, don't overdo it, right? But do not be afraid to gain weight, and you won't be, fat. I had a friend I've mentioned in my previous video about how he used to back then. His mindset, especially when the looks maxing trend was prevalent in 2023. He was afraid to bulk because he doesn't want to reduce his attractiveness. Although right now he gained a lot of weight. The thing is, bro, like it's already a struggle for us to gain weight. Gain weight. We have to force feed ourselves. So losing, or in a sense, when it's time to cut and reduce our food, it's gonna be easy to lose this or trim this fat, which is why we need to do it methodically so that we can put on quality mass, can sculpt our body, not put so much clay to the point where it doesn't even look good. So, click the program in my bio or in the description for my bulking program, and have a good day.